Okay, so again, we sent our e-blasts and they were nice. We added our logo. They had personalization. So now we are getting those responses in. We're hearing back from candidates. How can profiles help me to just add a little spice and make my interaction with those candidates a little more meaningful? So one of the first things I want to point out is that profiles is a great way to kind of organize yourself when you are interacting with candidates. At a kind of high level way on the dashboard, we give you the opportunity to see the searches that you've most recently done, as well as the physicians that their profiles that you've recently used. So this is a good tool to just right off the bat know the most recent candidates that you were interested in and seeking information on. And keeping that right here in the dashboard so you don't have to click through a bunch of screens to get back to information that you've recently pulled. Another useful tool is within the physician search itself. So let's say I do have an interaction and I have a candidate that I want to look up right at a glance. I don't want to have to go through the whole search. I already know either their last name or their email address. You can type that in here and then just pull up the one candidate. So I'm going to pick on Dr. Rabu here. And so right here from the email, I've gone into profiles. I can pick up this one candidate's profile and I can drill down for some information on her that's been obtained from our physician interviewers. So we encourage you, before you reach out to these candidates and before you go in for that one-on-one contact, use this information so that you can add some personal details to the conversation and make it more lively. Always make sure that you are relating back to the physician how the opportunity that you're presenting them relates to their preferences. We ask them the type of areas that they prefer and why, what position type and what practice type they're looking for. So use that information to make sure you're emphasizing with them how your opportunity relates to them and relates to their preferences. We also kind of give you an idea of what some of their hobbies and what some of their interests are. Use that information to connect with the candidate. Here we see Dr. Abu, she's a foodie, she likes shopping. So maybe highlight, some of the new restaurants that are close to the opportunity that you're presenting, or, give her some information about the brand new shopping pavilion that's being built near where, she'll be working or where she'll be living. So, use this information, spice it up with the candidate. And it's not just an opportunity for you to relate the information and the details of the opportunity that you're presenting, but it also is a way for you to get to know the candidate and kind of ask those quote unquote icebreaker questions and get to know the candidate and see if they are truly a fit for your position. Thinking back to a more organizational method, Profiles allows you to add what are called tags to each individual physician's profile. And this is a way that you can kind of keep a track of maybe who you've talked to, maybe who you've interviewed already, maybe somebody that you want to follow up on. So you can use these tags, and these are totally user created. You can name them whatever you want. So let's say we talked to her. So, and I can add that. And then I now have a way that I can either pull all the candidates based on this tag, or I can exclude those candidates because I've already talked to them and I don't want to include them on future communications. So we'll see how that relates back here in our physician search. Here's our tag field. Here's my tag that I created. And again, if I have, 15, 20 candidates that I know I've already talked to, I don't need to keep looking at their profile, or I do want to call them up because I want to go back through some notes or anything that I've taken on them. It's just another way that we allow you to use the physician search to create your own criteria to filter out those candidates. Okay. Just another area that I want to point out is notes. Take notes on the candidates. Use the database to collect your notes and keep them right here. So whenever you pull that candidate's info up, you have the information about them that you want to keep track of right here at a glance. So we can add a very interested or something of the sort, and we can save it. And then I can access that information when I, manually go to their profile. If I click print detail here, this will give me their information, and it'll show me my notes. So let's scroll that up here. So I have their CV information and I have their notes. And also, if I have a list, let's just imagine that this is a list of 20 or so candidates, I can print the doctor details here, and it'll give me a running list of all the candidates, including all my notes. So if you want to pull up all the people that you have tagged as talk to, and you want to see the notes for all of them as opposed to just one of them, you can use the doctor details, and that'll give you all of the information, including your notes. So the emphasis here is pretty much use profiles as a database. It's not a one and done. You definitely want to make sure between campaigns, between reach outs, that you're coming back into profiles and you're rerunning those searches, because as you can see, we're continuously updating this database. I've been kind of working in this for the past few days, but we're going to let you know how many new physicians have been added since you've been last logged in. And you want to include those in any future campaigns. So keep coming back to profiles. Keep a track of all your information and all the communications that you're having with these candidates right here in the database. Always check back before you're doing new searches and doing new campaigns, and make sure you're including the most up-to-date information. And just let profiles work for you and working for the candidates. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I encourage you to type any questions or comments that you have in the Q&A, and I'll just allow a few minutes to see if there's anything that anybody wants to ask or re-see or go back through. If anyone has any interest in the items that I was mentioning from the previous webinar about enhancing your email blast and personalizing your email blast using the information from profiles, I'd be more than happy to send out the documentation that came from that webinar. Just shoot me an email, floyda@usa.m3.com, and I'd be more than happy to either send over the information or go over the information with you again if you'd like to see it. Andy, do we have any questions or chat?
No questions just yet, but you have plenty of time and opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Alrighty, we got one question coming up. Will we get a copy? And of course, this webinar is recorded just like all others. So right after this, we're going to get a link from Zoom to have a webinar on demand that you can watch at any point in time. Plus, you can always follow up with Andrea, and she can get all those questions asked.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, exactly. If you would like documented, just so that you can have it in written form and, have it so that you can keep, again, just reach out to me directly and just let me know. And I'll be more than happy to get that over to you.
Yeah, we have another question popping up. Andrea, if you could, can you go over some of what you went over on the last webinar?
Sure. Yeah, so basically in the last webinar, we kind of, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think if I have all the documents prepared. What we did is we ran the searches, and then we let me go into a search here. So we ran a search, we had a list of people. We ran our email doctors report here directly from the profiles database. And then we went into Word and we created a mail merge, so to speak. So we used Microsoft Word to create an e-blast mailings, and we did our mail merge and email messages. And without, going through the meticulous step-by-step, we combined those two reports to see if I can connect something here for you, just to give you an idea. We combined the list so that we can add the doctor's name, so we can make it say, "Dear Dr. such and such," and I showed them how you can include their email address or their phone number or what have you, to kind of personalize and then send an e-blast right here from Word. So I don't know if I'm using somewhere. So I kind of just connected the two reports, and then we inserted the merge field. So we kind of can type in "Dear Dr. last name," and we created a message, we created an email, we added a signature, we inserted our logo and some pictures, and then we sent the message right here from Word. So again, I do have that all documented, and that webinar was recorded. So I would be more than happy to get that out to you. I think Rebecca asked that question, so I'll definitely get it to you. But if anyone else is interested, just let me know.
Awesome. Good deal. Thank you, Andrea. No other questions that I see. So we're going to stick it on as long as needed to answer all those questions. But that is all we have for you today. And like I mentioned earlier, this webinar will be recorded and sent out shortly, soon after. So thank you, everybody, for attending.
Yes, thank you, everyone.